Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What are we talking about this time? Final Fantasy 7 Trilogy, Part 3. Square Enix basically are satisfied with the overall sales, but they do seem to imply that Part 3 can't afford to release on just the PS5. Before we get started, make sure to like this video if you enjoy watching, hit the subscribe button, bell notifications, all that good stuff. So Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth may have not met Square Enix's sales expectations. No game seems to ever meet any company's sales expectations. They seem to expect way more than they sell. But speaking with IGN, the producer said that the sales were essentially claiming that they weren't that bad, actually, but weren't good enough to just stick with one platform. He said, while we're satisfied that we were meeting the certain number of cells with the current modernization state of the games, we cannot be exclusive to a single platform. He also said, I think we need to be able to, in quotes, offer the game to as many players as we can. That's a no-brainer. So that's not obvious that it's a guarantee that these games are going to be day one releases on PC and Xbox, as the Final Fantasy VII remakes are not on Xbox anyway, but they are on PC, or the Rebirth is coming to PC here this month, I believe, in January. So, but we've talked about this before, and yeah, I mean, Square Enix did say that they didn't meet sales expectations with it, but they only released it on one. And they said the same thing about Final Fantasy 16, but again, they only released it on one platform. 16 came out to the PC later on, and then Remake came out to PC later on. Rebirth is coming out here soon. I think 16 is coming out here soon, or it already came out. I can't remember. I think it already came out. I think it came out towards the end of last year. But regardless, the fact that I mean, how are you expect to meet your quota, or whatever quota that you're expecting, by only releasing on one platform? Square Enix, not even Square Enix, but a lot of these, I think a lot of developers or publishers are going to get away from, especially third parties, are going to they might start getting away from the exclusivity train, right? I guess it depends on how big of a paycheck these companies that want that exclusivity give them, but it doesn't seem to be benefiting them in the long run, because we see these exclusive games come out to consoles, not just in the sake of Final Fantasy, but other ones, and then later on the developer always talks about how that didn't really help us out, right? That we didn't meet expectations, sales didn't meet it, we should have released on more platforms, blah blah, this, that, and the other. And it's like, yeah. So I think these third parties may be looking into not going this exclusive console route, right? And that is ultimately just hurting them in the long run. But we'll see. I don't think part 3 will be on just Xbox and PC. I think it'll be on PlayStation, and that'll be it. I think it'll be the same, and then it'll come to PC later on. More than likely, Square Enix has probably some sort of deal or agreement with them when it comes to this game. So, or for a certain time period with these games, because 16 was also the same way, right? So, but at some point, they're I don't know if they'll re-up that once that deal is over with, right? They may be looking into not following those exclusivity traps in the future. I call them traps because they never seem to make their quota, and it hurts for the gamers, right? The players out there want to play, and you have Xbox gamers, PC gamers, PlayStation gamers, and every one of those want to play these games, and having them exclusive, that just sucks for everybody, right? Regardless of where it's exclusive at, it just sucks for all the people that want to play these things, but they can't because the game is not on the device that they play on. So we'll go around and see what everybody else thinks of this. Shane, what do you think?
Not a damn thing.
All right, Pat, what do you think?
No. It's stupid to release, especially with production costs as high as they are now. That's one thing everybody bitched about. $100, $200, $300 million, development costs. Well, you're just shooting yourself in 9 out of 10 toes by releasing it on one console, one option. It's stupid. Now, I understand why Sony would pay money or offers some sort of bonus or benefit to Square Enix to release only on their console, because that keeps more people on their platform. But is it worth it? And by Square Enix numbers, no, it's not. It's just not. It doesn't make sense to release. I understand exclusives if it's your property and your console, release it on your console. But if it's multi-platform developer, when you do that, I just don't see how it's beneficial to the developer. I really don't. You know, yes, they're putting Microsoft. Not out of business. They're putting Microsoft into a whole different area now because of the exclusivities that they've been able to retain, and plus Microsoft's obvious screw ups of everything. Microsoft's not even in the same realm as PlayStation now as far as the consoles. So I don't see that it makes sense to do a day one console PlayStation only release if it's just hurting you. It's not like you're going to be feeding Microsoft any true benefit from it. It's just going to develop, it's just going to give some of their, exclusive console holders the ability to play that game they've been wanting to play. Not everybody has an Xbox and a PlayStation and a PC and a Switch and a Steam Deck and whatever else you want to play your goddamn games on. There are a lot of people that are just limited. I mean, if it wasn't for my wife, I'm pretty sure I would be down to one console, maybe not even a PC. So they got to look at it that way. What kind of numbers are they avoiding by releasing exclusive? PlayStation has, is what, 2.5 to 1 on Microsoft. Okay, let's say Microsoft has sold, I don't know, 35 million copies, consoles, right? But let's say 10% of those people wanted to play Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or Remake. That's still an extra 3 million, 3.5 million copies sold. That's not numbers to scoff at. I'm not saying that's, how many people want it for sure, but I'm just saying those are numbers you cannot scoff at. I may be off on my math though, by the way, Nick's looking at me, but the overall is Final Fantasy is not I don't think Final Fantasy is a console exclusive game. I don't. I just, there's been plenty of them on Xbox. There's been plenty on Nintendo. I mean, they started on Nintendo as far as console goes. I don't think they were ever on a Dreamcast or anything. It's not like Metal Gear Solid. I think of that. I think of PlayStation. I don't think of that when I think of Final Fantasy. So I think they're just hurting themselves way too much, and I don't think it's beneficial, especially when they're complaining we didn't meet our sales expectation. Well, that's because you shot, a bunch of toes off, dummy. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to break that trend, but I do believe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Remake will end up on Xbox. It's going to be years down the road. And then it'll be even more years after that. I don't know how their exclusive deal works. I don't know if they have to get out all the remakes, remake, rebirth, whatever the heck the next one's going to be called. I don't know if they have to get all those out and then be out so long before their exclusivity runs out, or if it's a permanent thing. But I truly believe it'll still end up on Xbox at some point, as long as Xbox is still making consoles, I should say, because I don't know how long that crap's going to last. What about you, Pat? You're not the biggest Final Fantasy man, but you enjoyed 15 a lot.
I've enjoyed Final Fantasy since 14, I should say. I will say that the Rebirth one was kind of a joke to me. It was kind of boring, but I didn't mind 16. I like 16. I like 15. I like 14. I like the remake, and but Rebirth was just a lot of filler, but it was still an interesting game. It wasn't horrible by any means, and I bought it, so But yeah, I'm with you guys. You know, the majority of gamers, I think you're at like the majority of gamers are on PC, right? I mean, compared to PlayStation, they double the number of PlayStation gamers. I'm pretty sure the last number I saw. You know, so you're even if you know, because I don't think Microsoft's going to be in the console wars for long, so you know, you might as well just write them out already. But you know, if you only release on the PlayStation, you know, and you're not Sony, you know, you're hurting yourself, you know, and I believe even if you're Sony, you're hurting yourself in the long run, because if you think that your game is a console seller, majority of them are not console sellers. Even, you know, obviously some of their first party single player games are console sellers, but the majority of the stuff that comes out and that you're a third party and you get some exclusive deal with them, it wasn't worth it in the long run. But you know, you might want to grab the Xbox players while you can before Xbox is no longer a thing, because Microsoft is going to be just a publishing, developing game. They're going to be a game studio, is all they're going to be before long, offering something like Stadia and shit. You know, so you know, I'm definitely. Yeah, I think game developers hurt themselves when they take the exclusive deal for whatever reason. Maybe they were hurting and they had to, but in the long run, I think it does do them more justice, you know? So, because I mean, well, I think I read somewhere that there's a little over 2 billion PC gamers out there. And I think console market was just under that combined for PlayStation and Xbox. So, you know, like to the point, like something like 55 to 65% of gamers are on PC, and then the rest were divided up amongst consoles. So, and that's stuff from like statisticians, and stuff like that, you know. But so who knows how true most of that is? But you know, if you take Steam for example, I mean, a company that used to make video games, Valve, is now just, you know, they just make a marketplace for selling other people's games. You know, and they make it, and Gabe Newell makes a damn good profit off of just selling other people's games in his storefront. So, you know, I look at it like you're stupid if you're just making exclusive games. And Microsoft is finding that out, but they were trying to sell consoles, but they didn't have any games that I would consider console movers. I think their console ecosystem was leaps and bounds above PlayStation's, but you know, in the end, Sony's market strategy is forcing Microsoft to change theirs because Microsoft couldn't compete. Sony has a larger fan base that, you know, is happy to get screwed over by Sony, you know, and just stick with that. You know, so I think, you know, like I said, I think Xbox's ecosystem was better. I like their console interface better. I like their controllers better. You know, and for the most part, I like their consoles. You know, the physical hardware itself of the console is what it is. At that point, I could take one or the other. I mean, the white whale of the PlayStation, that damn giant ass thing compared to the, you know, the PS5 versus the Xbox Series, was quite a bit bigger. But, you know, it is to each their own on that one. You know, one's more aesthetically pleasing to others, but at the same time, the exclusive thing is just what drives the other one out of business. And Sony has played a better game. They've made better first party games and held them away from getting anywhere near Microsoft, whether that's PC or Xbox. And it's hurt Microsoft to the point to where Microsoft is pretty much all but saying they're out of the console market. You know, they're saying they're going to make a next gen console, but we haven't heard hide nor hair about any of it. And I think it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be, if it's even going to be competitive. So I think they're just giving up. They're throwing the towel in. This next generation, if they do participate in this next generation, it'll be their last generation of consoles. So that's how I feel about it. But, you know, stop taking the Sony money thinking it's going to be a better deal than the money that you would have made on Xbox or PC, and just make it for everything.
Yep. Yeah, exclusivities are a real big problem. But I think they have to start dissipating because it's just not worth it. If everybody's complaining about these production costs, you just have to release a more available, you know, make it more available to people, even if it is just PlayStation, PC. But it's got to go there day one, not 365 days later.
All right. Yep. I
Yeah,
mean, that's why
'cause they
that's what I
sell
say.
really good. Those Sony games sell really good on PC when they come to it, right?
Mhm.
And I think Final Fantasy sold really well when it came to PC. So they're missing out on the wrong platform,
Well,
right?
that's
Because
just
like Pat
because of the
said, that's where
mods.
majority of the players are. You know, majority of players are on PC compared to consoles.
Yep.
So
You're losing out on millions of potential sales by just releasing on your own console. So Square Enix has that sales expectation that I don't know what their sales expectation was. Were they expected to sell to 80% of PlayStation 5 owners or something? I don't know.
right, probably did. And it's like, yeah, if you would have met that, sure, it'd been great. But you know, how many of those PS5 owners are RPG fans?
Or how many of
And
them are day one buyers,
are
right?
day
Too.
one buyers, right?
They may love to play that game, but they're like, no, that's a $30 game for me. When it hits that $30 mark, I'll
Right.
get it.
I don't
Right.
have
Yeah,
the
but
money to spend $70 on it.
isn't the most played games on PlayStation like Fortnite?
No clue.
I don't know.
I mean, right now, I think when Nick and I were just chatting, the most popular game on PlayStation was that freaking, I don't remember what it was called, Wahoo Surfing or what was it that I was talking about, Nick?
Waifu.
Wavering Waves.
Wavering Waves. That's like the
Yes.
most popular PlayStation 5 game out right now. It's the most played, has the most player base right now. So
the top, according to our the top PlayStation 5 games by monthly active users in 37 markets. Fortnite is number one, followed by Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, EA Sports, Roblox, Minecraft, Rocket League, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So free to play games are in the top.
well, technically, if you look at the top, what is in here? The top, nothing in the top 10 is a PlayStation exclusive.
No.
Hell, nothing in the top 20 is a PlayStation exclusive.
No, Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, and then
Well,
yeah, there
you
we go.
squeak one or two in, but still, that's not very impressive. But PlayStation has become an ecosystem of third-party games. Though. I mean, they really took away Call of Duty from Microsoft years back. You know, it's like, oh, Call of Duty is now on PlayStation. Now you get all this exclusive DLC for Call of Duty, you know, and it's been happening for iteration after iteration of Call of Duty. Microsoft has had a lot just ripped right out of their hands because Microsoft sat there with their, you know, thing in their hand and just wasn't paying attention to the gamers. You know, and Sony came along. Well, look, you know, we're going to give Activision X amount of dollars. We're going to get exclusive DLC. We're going to get exclusive this, exclusive that, and that's why I think PlayStation has benefited has boasted so much because of Call of Duty, games like that. I mean, now that's where people go to play besides PC, of course.
Yeah, I mean, well, you also got to think like, you know, the larger majority of gamers are not us, right?
No,
they're casual players, free to play, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox, Minecraft,
cell phone,
you know, cell phone, mobile games, as well as you know, those types of games. That's why they're in the top, right? And that's why you see a lot of developers make those types of games and stuff like that, is because those are the games that are played, right? By a majority. We are the minority when it comes to the gaming app. You know, we were the majority, and then we became the minority.
Well, it's
now
because we
Social
don't.
Security.
It's because we don't. You know, I'll speak for myself. It's because I don't buy into the live service hype, and that's what it is, right? And I don't feel the need to buy a skin, to have a skin, to have something. I don't see the benefit in playing a game and buying a skin because it looks cool. I'm like, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't have a FOMO of that. And you know, and I don't know if that's just a younger generation thing that has FOMO of missing out on a skin or something, because even looking at Steam, like the top 3 games on there is Counter-Strike 2 number 1. And that's free to play. Rivals, Marvel Rivals, which is free to play, and Dota 2, which is free to play. Mm-hmm. The top 5 games, 4 of them are free to play. Path of Exiles 2 is number 4, and that's the only one on there. PUBG Battlegrounds is free to play and number 5. So, the top 5 games, 4 of them are free to play.
I think a lot of it too, Pat, is not just the fear of missing out, the fear of trying new things. I mean, people are sticking to a game for years and years and years and years now. I mean, Fortnite, yeah, they throw in new skins and, a few tweaks to gameplays and, their events. And don't get wrong, I think they've done a great job with milking their consumer. But we didn't used to play games for years and years and years unless it was an MMO. But
Counter-Strike has always been there.
Well, yeah, I will give you that. But those are camaraderie games. And I think those have become more popular. If a game is fun, you build a camaraderie and then, you stick with it a lot longer. Hell, Nick, we played a Rainbow Six Vegas for a long time, but we didn't stick to it for years. We didn't stick to it probably for more than a year. But we loved the game. We moved on to something new and something we thought was fun as well. Doesn't mean that game was bad. It's just we moved on. I don't think gamers like to move on anymore. I think they don't like to lose that familiarity. I think they like being able to jump on there with Billy and, Bobby and going around dressed like Naruto and, Nickelback or whatever the hell they're doing on Fortnite and just, doing the same thing they've been doing, building a fort and, climbing up and shooting people. Nothing. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. I think people need to get out of those little boxes sometimes to try new things. That's why I think some games that are still in that wheelhouse of Fortnite gameplay don't do as well because people just don't want to try new things. One thing, me and Pat have definitely done since, we've met Nick, we try new games because Nick doesn't discriminate. Nick doesn't see color. He sees all games equally and he loves to play them. And then he finds those ones that he thinks that, man, I bet Pat will like this. I bet Shane will like this. And what's he do? He says, hey guys, check it out. And it's Nick. So we're going to trust him as long as it's not expensive. And 75% of the time he blows, he knocks out of the park with that recommendation. So I don't know. I think a lot of it just has to do with people don't want to try new things. Me, I'm all the time. I'm always willing to try new things. 13 Sentinels. Never would have thought about it. Never would have tried it. And goddamn, it's an amazing game. Pardon my language. Doki Doki Literature Club. I always bring that one up because I would have never picked it up. It's a goddamn dating sim with anime. Love anime. Not a dating sim guy. And what happened? That just blew me away. It Takes Two is another one. It's not something I would have thought about trying because of the motif of the game about a husband and wife. I'm not going to play that with Nick. He'll think things of me.
We played that one together.
And we did. And we loved it.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with new games because out of the top 5 games, 2 of them are from this year.
What was that?
Rivals and Path of the Exile 2.
Rivals won't last. Path of Exiles 2 will though. I don't think Rivals will last.
Well, you can even expand it out to the top 10. In the top 10, you've got the Call of Duty. No, actually, the new one's not on here for that one, but Power World's on there.
When I say Call of Duty, though, Pat, I mean Warzone. So I'm being specific to that type of game.
Well, and there's Warzone's on Steam, isn't it? Or it has its own launcher, so they probably don't do the thing on Steam. But Steam has Call of Duty from 2022 on here as the top 10 in their top 10. But that's it. But I think it's just mostly the competitive PvP stuff has taken over the market, and I don't know why. I guess there's a lot of people out there who like it. It's not my cup of tea because I don't care. I like Counter-Strike. I like playing it every now and then, but I'm not hopping on there every day or every week or hell, not even every month. I don't hop on there. And Rivals, I haven't thought about it since we played the day that it was out that we played. I'm like, yeah, cool. You know, I haven't thought about it since.
Yeah, I mean, I like
Watching-
competitive games,
I do
but
too.
I don't play them like like
Religiously.
that either religiously, like every day. I might get the hankering to hop on to a competitive game and do some competitive matches and stuff like that. But then, in the end of the day, I'm back at playing, Persona 3 or something, just something else.
I mean, because we play, we'll play Helldivers too. That's on the top of, that's number 11 on the Steam charts versus Steam. So I wonder where it's at on the PlayStation charts. I don't know. But imagine how much money Arrowhead Studios or whatever could make if that game was out on Xbox. How much more money they could make.
I think it would have sold extremely well. I think that game would have really sold well. One, price point. The price point of the game
$40
was $40, which was worth it. And two, just the word of mouth of that game, just the memes alone that came out the week that game launched about bringing in Xbox.
Well, yeah, exactly. All the people trying to get the Xbox, and the number of Steam players on that is probably suffering because of the whole PSN debacle. It's not fully recovered since that whole PSN debacle, because I think there's still places now that can't access the game.
Yep.
So, but being an exclusive game hurts you, I think, in the long run. I mean, if games like Counter-Strike 2, which has been out for 13 years or whatever, can sit the number one Steam charts having 1.5 million peak players today alone. And I haven't played Counter-Strike 2 in a while. Does it have a microtransaction store? Because I'm like, I don't think it does.
I don't know.
I mean, it's, I don't know, but whatever, but like Rivals, that's free to play, but they have a microtransaction store, things like that. Dota 2, but like Path of the Exiles is just the early access game right now. I don't think they have a microtransaction store. Not the one, did they? They're just like Diablo. They have their little micro skins store. Yeah.
Because it's a free to play game. I mean, if you want to play it now, you have to buy it. But once it fully releases, it's free to play. Just like the first one was.
I didn't think they were going to do free to play model for Path of Exile too.
It's only if you wanted into early access, you had to buy a supporter pack while they're in early access. But once it fully releases, it's going to be a free to play game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I saved my money.
Yeah. I mean, I bought the early access. I want to play it. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, I mean, that's why I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just think that, obviously, like Sony not too long ago, their big wig was talking about, we're not done trying to make a live service game. And there's a reason why Ubisoft and all these other companies are trying to make a live service game. Look at the most active played game. Everybody wants that Fortnite money. I say it all the time. Everybody wants that Fortnite money, yo.
It only takes one, right?
Yeah. You got to put in Naruto and Eminem in your game, then you get the Fortnite money.
And then you get stuff like Rivals that comes out and just gangbusters it for who knows how long it'll stay up there. But I mean, I think even if you're getting 100,000, 200,000 players a day in your game on a live service game, you can make bank. I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 5 is on this list for Steam at number 8, and it has 200,000 peak players today and 104 average players, 104,000 current players, but a peak of 200,000.
That's a lot of shark cards.
That's a lot of shark cards, right? And they're selling that shit and people are buying it for a game that's just made billions, mind-boggling billions,
Yep.
That's outlasted.
And the next one is going to sell even more.
Yeah. So, I don't think it has anything to do with newness. I don't know. Live service games have things that a lot of other games don't have, and that is play with your friends, because it's most generally play with your buddies. Like a good co-op game like Helldivers 2, because that's not PvP, but it is a live service game. I'm all for a decent live service game that's not PvP that we can all play together, because we play Helldivers 2 together. You don't have to buy the war bonds if you don't want. You just won't get access to the newer stuff quickly. You can get the credits eventually and buy it. It's going to take you a while, but you'll eventually get enough credits to unlock a war bond here and there. But it is what it is in that aspect. Just you got to play the games you like. And I'm more of a non-PvP competitive gamer out there. I've never enjoyed the PvP aspect. So most of the top games on the list don't appeal to me. Like, I don't want to play Counter-Strike. I don't want to play Marvel Rivals. I don't want to play PUBG. I don't want to play Rust. I don't want to play Call of Duty. You know, I don't want to play.
Yeah.
I don't want to play Banana. That's that NFT game, isn't it? Banana, yeah, Banana's number 12 on Steam.
Oh,
Click on the banana or whatever.
I was like,
Free to play.
what side are you playing banana on, man? But and
yeah,
I think
Banana
I think
has-
another part though, Pat, sorry to cut you, is streaming your games when you
Yeah.
play. I think
Trying
that's
to
a
make
big
some
part
money
of
being a
it.
streamer.
Yeah, unless it's a funny ass game, I don't think you make the views you do as you do when you stream competitive stuff. So I think that's a help too, and that's why
I think it just
Fortnite's
depends on who you
things
are
like
and how
that.
popular your channel is on that shit.
Well, then I need to start playing online so people can watch me get violated.
Grandpa's gaming hour.
Mm-hmm. What's this button?
There's
Why'd
that
you shoot
old-
me?
I mean, who's that old guy? That
old guy,
sniper?
that sniper. Yeah, the sniper.
Yeah.
The old bit.
But the problem is, that old dude's got something I don't. Skill. He just straight
and
up.
he's retired too, so he's got all day to play video games.
Oh yeah. Yep. He's sitting around fucking eating gummies and
then the
sniping
gaming
people.
granny, she was out there for a while. I think she
retired. Yeah.
She had some health problems or something, didn't she?
Yep. My condolences to her family, if something happens to her.
Yeah, you know, so there's tons of old people out there who play video games. I mean, I think, gaming grandma, wasn't she like, I don't know.
She was up in 80, I think.
Yeah. But, you know, you got 88 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She gave Jesus a handy, Jay. I mean, she's old as crap. But
yeah,
you know
so,
what? I want to be there. I want to be at that age, you know, playing my games. I mean, my wife kind of, you know, when are you going to stop wearing anime shirts and playing video games? When you bury my ass. And maybe I might not even stop then.
In one. She'll bury you in one.
Oh, I'm going when I bury, I want you guys to make sure I got my anime socks on.
He's going to be full-fledged anime with a controller in his hand. The console.
I've been asked that before, and it's like, never. And why do I need to?
Why?
Why do I need to, right? Yeah.
Do you still watch baseball? Shut the... Yeah, it's a child's game.
You still watch those reality TV show?
Yes. How to Catch a Predator? Are you studying? I mean, no. You don't get to tell me to stop doing the things I love. We're going to rant here. So, but yeah, it's exclusivities and crap like that are not exclusivities. Crap like this is just, it's destroying companies. And, you know, who is that? Tencent. Every time they buy a company, they put a game out, it crashes, they kill it. So no more of that crap. No more exclusives.
Word. All right. Well, you guys got anything else you want to say about this?
Yes, but we don't have time.
All right. Let's go ahead and end it. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you let us know down in the comments below. What do you think of exclusive titles? I mean, you know, if you're Sony making a game, then sure, makes sense. If you're a third party, then it makes more sense to put it everywhere, I think. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks again for watching. Make sure to like the video. Again, subscribe, helps out, do us favors. 2025, we're trying to get up to, let's get up to 2025 subscribers or more. Help us get up there. But thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.